We continue now at the top of Daf Kufay and Aleph Amid Aleph and Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 171a. On the previous Amid, the Mishnah had the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Let's say you have a situation where a person pays up part of his debt. So Rabbi Yehuda says the Eidim, they tear up the original document, they write a new document in terms of what is now owed to the Malva, and they give that new document to the Malva. That was referred to as Yachlif. You exchange documents according to Rabbi Yehuda. And the Gemara brought the opinion of Rav that witnesses do not have the ability to do that. Rather, only the court can do that. The court can tear up the original document and write a new document. And the Gemara continues and explains, Bishlama Beidin, it makes sense that a Bezdin, a court, can do this. Alime lafkoi mamona, because a Bezdin has the strength to take money from someone. Ela Eidim, but when it comes to witnesses, Sha'asu Shlichusan, they already did their agency, they did what they were supposed to do. Chozrin v'osin Shlichusan, now they're going to go and do that again. They're able to tear up a star. That would not make sense. And the Rashbam explains, Bishlama Beidin, it makes sense that a court can do this. Mekarin u'machlifan acher, they can tear up the original document and exchange it with another one. V'chosvin osom mizman rishon, and they can put the original date on that new document. Literov shelo kedin mizman rishon. Technically, you're really collecting not appropriately from that earlier date, because right now you're writing the shtar, it's a later date. Demin hadin lo alim shtar lemitraf elam yom shenichtav ve'elach, because if you're following the strict halacha, a shtar should be collecting from the day it's written and onward, not earlier. El bezin alime, but Bezin has that strength. Umafkiye mamona, they're able to take money. In general, they're able to take money from people. The hefker bezin hefker. There's a rule of hefker bezin hefker. Whatever Bezin declares ownerless is considered ownerless, and so therefore that's why Rav says that a Bezin is able to do this. Elo edim shasul shlichusan, but witnesses who did their shlichus lichtov u'lahoyed b'shtar harishon, they wrote, they testified in that first shtar. Hech chozrin v'osin shlichus acheres, are they able to now go ahead and do some other shlichus? Uminasan lahem koach zeh, who gave them the strength? And that's why Rav argues against Rav Yehuda. But the Gemara continues, Velo, but is it really true that Eidim are not able to write subsequent documents? The Rashbam explains, Velo bitmia, the Gemara is asking this as a question, V'chi ein Eidim chozren v'osin, are Eidim not able to write up other documents? What's Rav saying over here when he disputes Rav Yehuda in the Mishnah? V'hamar Rav Yehuda amar Rav, but Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, Eidim kosvin afilo asara shtaros al sada achas. Witnesses are able to write even 10 documents on one field. And the Rashbam explains, V'hamar Rav Yehuda amar Rav, Misha avad shtaro, means if somebody lost his document, V'yamar la'edim kisvu li'acher, and he says to witnesses, write me another one. Chozrin v'kosvin, they can write again. Afilu asara stars, even 10 times they can do this. Im avdu zachar zeh, if he keeps losing it one after the other, and so why shouldn't they be able to rip up the first star and write a new star? And the Gemara continues and answers, no, that's only in an exceptional situation. Rav Yosef Amar b'shtar matana. Rav Yosef says they can write another star, or they can write another 10 stars. That's only by a shtar matana. That's talking about a document that was for a gift. The person wasn't sold the field, he just received it as a gift. The Rabbah and Rabbah says that when can they write subsequent stars? Also, only in exceptional situations. B'shtar she'ein bo achrayis. That's if it's a star that you don't have the ability to collect with. And the Rashbam explains, Umashani Rav Yosef Amar Liolam Ein Koach Biyadam Shaledim. Really, the witnesses do not have such strength. Lachzor v'lichtov shtar acher, in order to write another star, ligvos milakuchos, that can be used to collect from buyers. V'chikama Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, and when did Rav Yehuda say that Rav said that they can write even 10 shtaros? Hani mila b'shtar matana, that's true by a star that was used for a gift. She'ein bo achrayis, that kind of star can't be used to collect anything. V'keivan da'akol yodin shenosin lo hasad, if everybody knows that this field was given to the recipient, lama lo yichtavu lo shtar matana, why not write another shtar matana? Lios biyadu la'edus, to take ara biyadi, that it should be in his possession as a testimony that this is his land. And Rabba says that even by a shtar mechira, Rav Yehuda says the kos v'nasar, you can write 10 documents. But like we said earlier, as long as you write the shtar in a fashion that you can't collect with that shtar. Like we said earlier, you just exclude the achrayus. Just like Rav Nachman said earlier, the shtar is being written, but you cannot use it to collect with. And the Gemara continues, my brisa, what is the brisa that was referenced on the previous Amud? The previous Amud mentioned that there is a brisa which elaborates upon the opinions of Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi in our Mishnah. The Tanya, as we learned in a brisa, Harei shayu noshin bo elef zuz, if you have a situation where a person owes another person 1,000 zuz, upara mehen chamesh meos zuz, and the borrower, he already paid back half of it, he paid back 500 zuz. Eidim and Mekarenes Hashtar, the witnesses are the ones that can tear up the original shtar. V'chosvin lo shtar acher mizman rishon, and they can write a new shtar that's 500 instead of 1,000 from the original date. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, this is the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi says, shtar ze yehi munach b'makomo. The original shtar should stay where it is with the lender. V'yichtavu shover, and instead they should write a receipt that the borrower will have. The receipt will prove that he paid off half of it. Umipnei shnei devarim amru, and it's for two reasons that they say kosvin shover, that it's preferable, according to Rabbi Yossi, to write a shover. Achas kadei sheyochaf leporo. Number one, this allows the person to be able to force him. It kind of compels him to pay it off. He's got to hold and protect this shover the entire time, and the only way that the malva is going to lose his shtar is if he actually pays off the debt. So it encourages, forces, so to speak, the borrower to pay off the whole debt. And Rabbi Yossi continues, V'achas, and the second reason why we say it's good to write a shover is Kadei sheyigba mizman rishon. That way, if the malva, if the lender can keep his original document that has the original date, he can collect from the earlier date. But the Gemara says that second reason doesn't make sense. Rabbi Yehuda nami mizman rishon kamer. Rabbi Yehuda also said that the new shtar, when you're yachlif, when you write a new shtar, you're going to write the original date. So Rabbi Yossi is not gaining anything in that regard. And the Gemara continues, Hachi kamer le Rabbi Yossi le Rabbi Yehuda. Here's what Rabbi Yossi is telling Rabbi Yehuda. Mizman rishon ka'amrit, if you're saying that you write the second document from the original date, so poligna alach bechada, then I'm only arguing with you in one respect, because we both agree it's from Zman Rishon. Again, I just say to write a shover and not to write a new document. But imizman sheini ko'amrit, but if you're saying that on the second document you write a later date, so then poligna alach betarti, then I'm really arguing with you in two ways, because you're saying it's from the later date with a new shtar, and I'm saying that the malva keeps his original shtar and instead write a shover, and that way he can collect from the original date. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabbanon, the rabbis taught, Shtar shezmanu kosav b'Shabbos o b'Asara b'Tishrei. Let's say you have a document, and the date that's written on the document is Shabbos. Of course, the document cannot be written on Shabbos. Or let's say the date on the document is the 10th of Tishrei, which is Yom Kippur. Of course, the document cannot be written on Yom Kippur. So there we can already assume Shtar mu'ucherhu. It's obvious that it is a post-dated shtar. It obviously was written before Shabbos. It was written before Yom Kippur, and they put a later date. V'kosher, and that's perfectly acceptable. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. That's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. And the Brisa continues, Rabbi Yossi, Posel Rabbi Yossi says it's possible such a shtar is not going to be good. Amar lo Rabbi Yehuda says to Rabbi Yossi, V'halo ma'isa bolafanecha b'tzipori, wasn't there an incident like this that came before you in Tzipori? V'chshartan, you said that it is a kosher shtar. Amar lo, so Rabbi Yossi said back to him, Keshechsharti, when I said it was kosher, Bozehechsharti, I only said it's kosher in a scenario like this, where the date is Shabbos, or the date written on the shtar is the 10th of Tishrei, or Yom Kippur. There it's obvious it's post-dated, that's why I said it's kosher, otherwise I would not say it's kosher. But the Gemara asks, Rabbi Yehuda nami bozeh kamer, but that's what Rabbi Yehuda was saying also. Rabbi Yehuda also says it's only kosher if it's on Shabbos or the 10th of Tishrei. So what exactly are Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi arguing about? And the Gemara continues and explains, Rabbi Pedas says, Hakol modim, everybody agrees, Shem huskaknu la'onaso shel shtar, v'nimtzis onaso mechuvenes b'Shabbos o b'Asar b'Tishrei, that if we investigate the time, the date written on the shtar, and the date written on the shtar comes out on a Shabbos, or it comes out on the 10th of Tishrei, so everybody agrees in those situations, sheshtar me'ucherhu, it is obvious just from the fact that the date on the shtar is a day that it could not have been written. Obviously, it is a post-dated shtar, v'kosher, and it is kosher. That both Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi agree to, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Kuf Ayin Aleph Amid Beis.